Yo, what is up guys? It is Samool back again with another Epic 7 video for you guys today. And today we're going to be talking about a huge change coming with the even huger patch coming out on the 28th of April. This is the Awaken update for Epic 7. Usually they have a huge patch like this every single year. And for this year, they're adding a lot of QOL changes for late game players, as well as helping out newer players to the game by giving out a lot of free resources. So the one event I'm going to be talking about is called the Hero Support event, which is coming out with the Awaken patch, like I said, in 4 days. And this event will allow you to choose one of 3 heroes that is featured in one of these hunts. You'll be able to get 6 free copies of Daydream Jokers as well. You'll get the hero, of course, just the hero though, not their artifact. And you'll also get 36 Mulgora and Wisdom's Gaze, which is the Hall Trials currency to get their exclusive equipment, because all of these units actually have exclusive equipments. So Smilegate just giving out these units and all of these resources because they kind of realize, and it's really obvious, that the way you farm gear in this game is from hunts. And so they're giving you the option from the 3, basic hunts that was in the game a long time ago: Golem, Wyvern, and Banshee, because those are the 3 elements, right? Earth, fire, and ice. Basically, they're giving you a way to get a head start. Now, we're going to be talking about which unit is the best out of the 3 if you have none of them, which is the second best out of the 3 if you have, the number 1 hero. And if you have all 3, then obviously you probably don't really need to see this video, because you're probably going to be pulling for dupes anyways for your memory imprint. That being said, so before we get started with the video though and talking about which ones I recommend, we have a giveaway going out on Instagram, guys. It closes in a few days, actually, on the 26th of April. It's actually 2 days before the patch comes out, and we're giving away free rewards that you can use for your Epic 7 expenditures if you'd like, or other mobile games. All you have to do is follow me on my Instagram page and like my post, as well as comment on it, and we'll be doing the draw in a couple of days. That being said, guys, let's get started and let's talk about the number 1 hero that I recommend from these 3 listed heroes. So no surprise here, guys, this is the unit that I recommend, that if you don't already have her from the selective summon, that you want to choose from the hunt event, the hero support event, I guess is what they're calling it. And that is Sigret, because Sigret is a monster at Wyvern. You need her for Wyvern one-shot later on in the game. She's the best DPS for Wyvern. She's the best debuffer. I talk about her all the time on this channel because she's just that good. And the reason why she is recommended out of Vivian and Cermia is because Wyvern is the best hunt to farm for early game players, because Speed Set is a very, very good set that will help you pretty much on every single unit. You can use it, and it will help you at every point of the game. That being said, let's go over why Sigret is good and go over her skills. So she has her S3, which is a single target nuke. It penetrates defense with more debuffs and will prevent the enemy from reviving when you kill something with this. This is really good in PvP against like Arbiter Villagers if you want to stop the revive, but mostly going to be used in PvE for that extra damage. Next we have her S2, which is single target attack. This has a unhealable and bleeding effect on it, and when the enemy's health is 50% or less, you'll actually activate your S1, which will have an increased chance to land bleeds. Very, very good. This has 2 debuffs, which pretty much meets the requirements for Wyvern 13 to not hit your DPS units. And also you will activate your S1 right after. If they're low enough, you have a chance for 2 more debuffs. Now our S1 is a single target attack that has 2 bleeding effects built in, and you're going to see if you mold this goes to 50%. Very, very good. You can see right away she has a lot of debuffs built in, which makes her very strong for Wyvern, because Wyvern needs 2 or more debuffs, ideally 3. And you also have her S3, which will do more damage that penetrates defense with more debuffs on the boss. So very, very strong. And now for her exclusive equipment, which one do you guys want? So for newer players, definitely recommend the bleed chance on Sever by 20%. That'll make her Sever a 70% chance to land 2 bleeds. Very, very strong. Now keep in mind this bleed chance is independent, so sometimes you might land 1 bleed, sometimes you'll land 2, sometimes you'll land 0. So very, very good. If you're going for Wyvern one-shot though, you're going to want the increased damage on the Sever. So yeah, Sigret, guys, easily the number 1 pick out of the 3. Very good for Wyvern hunt, which is the hunt I recommend farming first, and what 99% of the player base actually farms first. The other heroes, although they're good, you're going to see that Sigret is just going to have a lot more value to you if you can get it earlier than the other units. And the second place unit that I recommend getting from this hero support event, basically if you already have Sigret, or you already have your Wyvern 13 team up and running and you want to get into Banshee, is going to be Vivian. So Vivian, very, very powerful unit in PvE. She's an attack buffer with a lot of AoE DPS, good single target DPS, just a very, very good unit in general. She makes Banshee one-shot super easy because she has an attack buff. She will increase your win rate with your immunity, and she can also one-shot the first wave as well as attack buffing, so you can actually run a 3-man Banshee 13 one-shot team, which allows you to friendship farm, fodder farm, whatever you really want in that last slot. In other areas of PvE though, she's actually very good as well. You can use her in raid. You just have to be careful that you don't take her against fire bosses. She's also pretty decent in Azmonak 13 normal as well. And for other one-shot comps like Hades, Azmonak, you're actually going to end up using her late game as well. Very powerful unit. PvP can also use her as a cleaver, which is kind of funny, right? But yeah, she's a pretty good cleaver as well. Let's go over her skills real quick and you'll see why that she's super good. So her S3 is an immunity buff to all her allies and also will give everyone attack buff for 3 turns and herself greater attack buff for 3 turns. So very, very strong buff. It's really nice for Banshee one-shot because if you guys have picked up Baiken from the Guilty Gear collab, you're going to notice that she actually needs a 3-turn attack buff to actually get her full combo off because her S2 grants her an extra turn and then she S3s to one-shot the boss. And this is a 3-turn buff, so you have that right here in Vivian. Next we have her S2, which is an AoE attack, and when you kill an enemy with this, it will basically proc again. It can go up to 3 times, doing less damage each time. Very good. This will one-shot Banshee first wave pretty easily if you have her on OK gear. Next we have her S1, which is a single target attack, which will push her CR and will go up even more if you crit. Very, very nice because DPS units with CR pushes, you'll see that you can actually not put as much stats in speed and you can actually put it all into damage. Makes her pretty decent single target DPS as well for PvE. So looking at her exclusive equipment, which one do you want? So the one I recommend is going to be Mana Amplification 2, especially if you're using her for Banshee one-shot because this will make it so that she can attack buff and clear the first wave. She will S3, give everyone that attack buff, and then she will push herself with her exclusive equipment, and then she can S2 right after to clear the wave. You just have to make sure she is a lot faster than your one-shotter, about more than 50% faster, so she can attack buff and then get her S2 off to cleave the wave down. So very, very good. Definitely recommend her over Cermia. Definitely not as good as Sigret though, but if you guys don't have Sigret and you already have a Wyvern team up and running and you want to get into your Banshee one-shot team, then Vivian is a very, very good option as well because she is a very good first wave clear and a very strong attack buffer as well for Banshee 13. And last but not least, we have everyone's favorite waifu, Cermia. So Cermia, straight off the bat, PvE. The reason why she's third on this list is because although she is very good in PvE, guys, especially for late game PvE, you know, I just said it, she's going to be good in late game PvE. In early game PvE, you won't really use her. So as a newer player, she's not that great. But I know a lot of late game players who are actually going to pick her from this event because they already have Vivian and Sigret, or they already have a Banshee team and Wyvern team running because that's, you know, kind of early mid-game-ish. And if that's the case, then Cermia is a very, very good pick. It's kind of the only pick you have, but don't feel bad about it because she's very good. She's very good in Katie's one-shot, very good in Light Expedition, very good in Dark Expedition, very good in Golem one-shot. You can basically use her as a one-shotter for single target. She's very, very strong. In PvP, she's a very good Guild Wars unit. Just bring her with like an auxiliary lots, push her up, and she'll one-shot something. Bring her with a green lots as well, and she'll one-shot 2 things, right? Very, very strong. Very fun unit to use in PvP, and kind of will make your Katie's team especially a lot quicker if you have her, and it'll make it a lot easier to one-shot it as well. So talking about her skills real quick, you'll see why she's such a good single target nuker. Her S3 is just a single target attack that penetrates defense. This does a lot of damage. Very, very strong. Because her S2, you'll see, is a self-attack buff, which will give her greater attack buff. So you will also get an extra turn and reset the cooldown of your S3. So you can basically just S2, S3, right? And the reason why this is good in PvP with auxiliary lots or anything that can push her, like even Amelia, is because she can S3 after getting an attack buff from Amelia or A-lots. And then when her second turn comes around, you can just S2 and then S3 again because it resets it. Very, very good in Guild Wars for that reason. Even though, you know, you don't really have to, or you won't be able to manual this in PvE gameplay because you're autoing. It's a very, very good unit for PvE because, or Cermia is a very good unit for PvE because she just does so much single target damage. If you can speed tune her to kill the first boss on Katie's, it's very good. S1 pretty decent, has a unhealable as well. This does pretty decent damage, but you know, not the reason why you pick her because you know all of her powers in her S2, S3 mostly. And then her exclusive equipment. So her exclusive equipment, it depends what you're taking her into. If you're taking her into PvP, I recommend her all in exclusive equipment, which will decrease the cooldown of her S3. If not, then I recommend taking her S1 because this will just speed up your KD's runs unless you're just like one-shotting with Water Shirt and Strays, because most people will be one-shotting the first boss with Cermia and the last boss, it's harder to one-shot. So you're most likely going to have to take a few turns with their S1. So I'll recommend that one for PvE. So that's pretty much it for this new event, this hero player support event, whatever it's called, coming out on the 28th of April, guys. I'll just recap: Sigret and then Vivian and then Cermia in that order, I think are the best options. If you already have your Wyvern team running, maybe you don't want Sigret, you can just take Vivian. If you have both teams running, then maybe you want Cermia, right? It's all up to you to decide, but in my opinion, I think Sigret is just like super good, and then Vivian's a very close second, and Cermia is more for late game players. Before we end the video though, guys, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and check out my giveaway. I really want to give back to you guys in the community. There's not a lot of people that are signing up for it. I think maybe 500-ish. 400-ish, which is I guess a lot, but I didn't really open this to the public. It was mostly only for subscribers of the YouTube channel. I only advertise it on YouTube because I want you guys to have a better chance of winning, and we'll be doing more giveaways in the future for big events for Epic 7 or holidays and stuff like that, so make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled for that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.